Question that we vote on this matter. Recommendation of the committee.
Suspension of rules to allow the mayor to speak.
Positively.
Any objection?
So I actually wasn't here for this item tonight. I wasn't even sure it was coming up or what role it was going to play, but since it has, I'm sitting at this desk and I kind of feel compelled. I didn't attend the committee meeting that you held last week. I think I was out of town during that time frame, but I did see some of the media reports of the meeting and the discussion. And even sitting here listening tonight, hearing counselors, I've sat in your seats and listening to folks bemoan that you have no role. You play very little role in the city, and that it's very passive, and that you don't control the levy, you don't have much say-so over anything, and reading comments in the paper that we need this ordinance to straitjacket the mayor. If that quote is correct, I wasn't here, but something to that effect. And having sat in this seat, served as a committee chair of the finance committee, and know full well that the city council's role is the actual fiscal watchdog for the city. As mayor, and I think Councilor O'Keefe is fond of saying, I propose, you dispose. We cannot spend $1 in this community for the operational budget, for capital projects, for fixing a pothole, for plowing the streets, for educating our kids, unless the majority of this body approves it. We don't send out one tax bill with a tax rate unless a majority of this body approves it. I would submit to you that you don't need an ordinance to straitjacket the mayor. You have all the authority within the legislative rules that we operate of this body. You control the levy. If you think the budget that's proposed is unaffordable, is too high, because you're right, taxes are the major issue. They have been in Salem forever, they'll continue to be. I report to the same people that you do. Then you can cut the budget. I don't think I'm a spendthrift. I don't think I propose things we don't need. I take into account what it takes to operate the city, what that impact is going to have on the taxpayers, and I propose a budget. Council can cut it. Setting the tax rate, the levy is too high. 2 out of the last 3 years, we've been under the levy. Now, with all of the rules and obligations that we operate under, all the handcuffs I have, I can't spend $1. We just went through appropriations this meeting. Everything that comes in, you approve. We want to further handcuff what the administration can do, because we want to say in February how much the budget should be. We want to tell you in February how much you can spend. That budget's 6 inches thick, has all the financial forecasting. You have all the information. You've hired a budget analyst to go through, who I don't think had one bad thing to say about the way we budget. Conservatively balanced, professional operation, doing things the right way. When asked why that single-family home rate is a little bit higher than we'd all like it to be, said maybe you're spending too much money on public education. Really? You don't need this ordinance. I don't know what DOR is going to say. They really control a lot of how we set levies and what limits are. You have the power right now. It's an election year, I get it. So let's all hold up our card and say we're concerned about the taxpayers. I'm concerned about them every single day, because I'm the one in the office getting the phone calls when class sizes are large, when plows don't hit the street, when roads are dismantled. So I propose a budget that balances what we can afford, what people can afford, and what our needs are. And if you don't like it, if you think it's too high, if you think it's unaffordable, if you only want taxes to go up a certain percentage, cut the budget. I've given you 6 budgets. This is the 6th one. 4 years in a row, 0 cuts. Last year, $33,000 in cuts. This year, what's proposed so far by the committee? $120,000 out of a $130 million budget. I'm not a spendthrift. I don't go around spending money like a drunken sailor. We've lost $5 million from a power plant. That's had more of an impact on single-family homes than any other thing we've done. We had a lot more industry in this city. That commercial tax rate at 1.5 times what residents pay, that has an impact on residential ratepayers. We operate as efficiently as we can, looking for regionalization, trying to spur commercial investment to help stabilize residential rates. And you know it because we talk about it every year. Well, before that budget's submitted, we have a pre-budget retreat. I organize that. I call you guys and say, can we get together so we can talk about the areas where you think maybe we're spending too much, areas you want us to look at, concerns you might have. Half of you didn't even show up this year. A majority of the Finance Committee. So you want to put a straitjacket, you want to put an ordinance, you're concerned about finances, cut it. But when you do it, you tell people why. The reason you've only got $120,000 in cuts, and I think some of those will be restored, is because we're not spendthrifts, guys. Because we need the money. Because we like modest-sized classes. Because we want to have, when you dial 911, somebody respond. Pass the ordinance. Don't pass the ordinance. I'm going to propose the budget that I think we need. The services that I think we need, things that I hope are affordable for folks, because we work hard to do that. And when there are opportunities for savings, when we can save money, maybe let's say, for instance, a city hall lease that would have saved $67,000 this year, maybe a majority of the council will support it. It's just disheartening with all the work we put in, trying to work together, and information we're providing about finances, that we're going to stand up and say, we need an ordinance because we think we're spending too much and we don't have any control over it. You have all the control in the world in this body. You don't need an ordinance. You just need the courage to do it if you think what we're doing is wrong.
Move the question on